E nel corpio non mi sento brillare la gioventù, cagion del mio tormento. Amor, se colpa tu. Thank you. It's traditional that I do some little Italian bit. Nothing to do with the reading, of course, um, except for the person in the song is being tormented by love, mio tormento. And our poems are not like that, but they do have love in them because what's the love? The love is for the writing itself. You know? So, we all like to get published, and you're not writing really for money or not even for publication, even though it feels good. But you're writing for the love writing. And it's really a celebration of creativity, creativity of College of Marin students. And creativity is a gift. And back in the day, they'd say, well, go down to Mount Helicon and climb up Mount Helicon and receive the gift of the gods for inspiration, as John Keats dreams about in the Nightingale poem. Well, we don't have to do that. We do have a cool mountain, but we just go inside. And if it's a gift, we can't really take credit for it if it's a gift. It's a gift from the gods. And as a gift, it's intrinsic, which means it's in you. So there's those of you here who are writers who are in the magazine, or writers who sent things to the magazine. Thank you. And if it's intrinsic, that means you have it. And it can't be taken away by anything or anybody. So when life takes things away, creativity and that gift remains. And it will always remain. So if we can't take credit for it, what can we take credit for? Well, Stephanie and Trina and I going through all these poems and thinking about, okay, that's really tricky. Can you do a first or a second or a third place thing? And we've got ties, Well, we were so impressed with the craft of these poems, the sense of sound and rhythm, of concrete imagery, of endings of some of these poems, that they end with a sudden insight or a sudden emotion. And that's what we can keep working on, that craft. And keep working on it. This is the cool thing about literature and writing. You keep working on it for the rest of your life because your teachers are all around you. They're all the writers that have gone before and are still here. So that means learning from all these writers, which means taking a literature class, or if you transfer somewhere else, when you go, you take the gift of creativity with you wherever you go, and it will always be there. So with that, I'd like to introduce the great literary magazine women, Stephanie and Trina. So you want to say something?
Hi, everyone. The inimitable Doc Tipton. Thank you so much. Thanks to you all for being here today. It's a really special event every year, and we never quite know how it's going to unfold. Who's going to want to do this creative project with us? Do we have any takers? And every year, luckily, we do. So this is a project that we've been doing for many years. It started out as a literary magazine and has evolved into an art and literary magazine, which we're really excited by. For the first time, we have not only our magazine, which I hope you all take a copy of, and feel free to come up and get one as we are talking if you haven't yet. But we also invited artists to bring some of their artwork here to show today, and some people did. So we're really excited about that. So the way it works is Stephanie and I, every year, we kind of reach out to students in our classes and say, hey, we think you've got loads of extra time and you really want to put together this literary magazine with us, and we find a few takers every year. So this year, we had a crew that helped us put out a call for submissions, and we try to, blanket the school, let everybody know this is not, it's really for the whole community. So it's students, faculty, and staff, because we want to recognize the creative work that everyone is doing across our campus. And there aren't a lot of opportunities for doing that. We also want to give people a chance to be published. It is really exciting. Many of you here today may be published for the first time. And to be able to do that and break the ice and put yourself out there and be recognized for it, and now to be able to share your hard work in this beautiful magazine is really something to be proud of. And so I just really want to thank our team, Rebecca, Alex, and Arthur. If you'd stand up. Rebecca, you did the lion's share and made it happen. Alex and Arthur, you are great support. Thank you so much. This is student-led and run. We just kind of help it along. Stephanie wants to share a little bit more about this with you before we get to our readings.
Yes, we could not be more excited about the number of submissions that we got this year. We got a record number of visual art submissions, which makes it a much more colorful process as a collaboration between art and literature. And we're just thrilled with how many submissions we got, many more than we were able to publish. And Trina and I don't get to choose who gets in. Our student editors have full editorial power, and they choose anonymously just based on the strength of the work. And I know they struggled too, because there were just so many beautiful things to choose from in writing and visuals. So Trina and I, like she says, we just shepherd it along. The editors do all the layout and all the selection and all the hard work. And we get a lot of support from people on campus who are generous enough to recognize what a gift we think it is to have our students published. And so we especially want to thank the support we've gotten from the English department, who lets us keep funding it every year and making it bigger every year. We've got the biggest one ever this year, which we're pretty excited about. We want to thank our dean, Lauren Cervais, for her support with that. Kevin and Carol in the art department helped us. This is the first year that we've invited art faculty, because we felt like we had such a strong art presence that we thought, why are the English faculty choosing the art winners? Like, let's have the experts in that choose the art prizes, and we'll choose the lit prizes. So thank you so much for your help with that. VP Eldridge, President Kuhn, always very supportive of us, and that feels good. It just feels good to be in a community where it's recognized that art matters and writing matters and self-expression matters. Not every school values that, and I feel like ours really does, and it just feels like such a warm and welcoming place because of that. Yeah. Thank you. Our library dream team of Dave Patterson and Sarah Fry are always incredibly supportive every year of anything we try to do, and that means the world to us as well. And finally, the person whom we really rely on when the clock's ticking is in reprographics. Jesse Harbison is always there for us to get this printed and help us figure out how to do it. And just, I saw him rolling up one day after we put it in with boxes full of our magazine, and we're always like, "Can we do it on time?" And he's like, "Here it is." So just the support we get across campus for this is incredible. And so we're so grateful to that. We just want to thanks for that. Thanks to all of you who submitted and believed in the power of getting yourself published, and that art matters. That's just super meaningful. So thank you.
I never know how this part's. So we just want to invite you all to be brave. It's exciting. Get up here and read your work. This looks like a really nice crowd to me. You guys pretty nice? Yes, you are. All right. So safe, good place to share your work. We do have someone who's going to break the ice for us, and I'll let Stephanie get that started. But please just consider coming up and reading your work. And we want to thank you in advance. Thank you.
So if you don't have a copy of the magazine, we can pass some of those around. We'd love you to be able to know what you're looking at. If anybody needs one, Jamie can bring you one. Yeah, there's seats over there. I'm going to pre-announce our first two readers just because they got to leave early. And after that, I invite all of you, and several of you have already volunteered. I invite all of you to just sort of make it work. And if you see an opening, like pop up and get it. And if somebody gets there before you do, don't leave. Go next. Like fight it out. And we'd love to hear from as many of you as we can. Our first reader today is going to be Hajra Ismail Yakubali, and she'll be followed by Jade Sweeney. I want to ask everybody who reads to start by telling us your name and what page your work is on so that people can look at it as you're reading. And I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Hajra. Sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm Hajra. My work is on page 23. It's a little short story I wrote over the summer. Forgotten voice. The eggshell white paint started to fade. It no longer felt elegant. The ticking of the clock echoed the apartment. Empty, breathless, restless. How empty these walls feel, with Borlotz's warmth making my feet turn to stone. When the sun rose, I only see clouds shielding any light coming inside. Where did life go when you left my side? I gather myself up to make my bed. I'm a lot sloppier with it now. Before it was creaseless, and now it seemed like a chore begging to be done. I remember the long nights we giggled and talked about the endless possibilities of life until it was time to sleep. It's been long enough. I'm forced to let you go because reminiscing wasn't going to bring you back. I was going out tonight, not sure where, but I'm going to go catch sunset somewhere because at least that still feels real. Everything felt misplaced after my miscarriage. The echoes of laughter haunt my head with what could have been a little girl running on this floor. How 2 years went by faster than I could catch up doesn't sit right with me because I still have the scars of when they took her out of me and how my body was full with life and now it feels like nothing but a used plastic bag. I was happy working from home, but many times I wish I had someone else in my space with me. I thought about a pet, but it seemed like too much responsibility and would feel like I was trying to put a substitute for my little girl. Instead, I started writing letters to all those I've lost. I've written 37 to myself alone because it was the old me who died a long time ago. As I started painting to what looked like a black blob, my phone rang. It was a private number, so naturally I didn't answer. I called again and again. I chose to blast my music and blurt it out. A few hours later, I was done with my painting. It was a black and white painting of a forest. Check my phone. No caller ID, 19 missed calls. They didn't leave a message, so it couldn't be that important. Honestly, I was kind of spooked. Malik and I met when we were 19. I'm 23 now, so you do the math. I changed my clothes and grabbed my keys. I decided I'm getting ice cream to watch sunset with. In the ice cream store, I kept hearing someone's phone going off saying, no caller ID. Seems like everyone's going to get the same calls today. My total was $1.90. I thought, who could have been calling me because it couldn't be him who was calling. I got my mocha almond fudge ice cream and walked to the pier. As I was walking, I kept looking back. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was following me. As I sat down on the stairs of an old gift shop, my phone rang again. No caller ID. I decided to answer it. It would eat me alive if it was him and I did. Maya. I heard his deep, crisp voice flooding up with the last 4 years of my life. As my eyes filled with tears, the only thing was the voice wasn't coming from my phone, it came from behind me. I froze in disbelief, dropping my phone, letting it fall down the stairs, shattering my screen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jade. Sometimes, oh, it's on 11. Sometimes I feel like I can't do this. My heart is tired, and so is my mind. It's like being lost in the forest, and trouble is the only thing I can find. Pressure makes diamonds, but I feel like broken glass. Why can't the good things last? Why was a bad memory one of our last? Always dwell on the past. No, I do not want to vent. What is there to say, and what can you do? The stubborn questions that appear in my mind. I want to hide. Don't call, text, or even bother me. Heck, while you're at it, don't even think of me. Why do people not take obvious things into consideration? Your desperation for attention has only allowed me to clarify this exact feeling. What more do they want from me? Cliche, but something that causes my curiosity to wander. If I was to paint a canvas, what would it be? You see, life is a canvas. You can draw it out and get all the paint for free. My canvas would include everything that broke me down to everything that made me. I don't want to die because I had a hard time living. You see, I want to survive to see how it created a drive worth the killing.
I'm Arthur, and my piece is on page 42. It's a riddle poem. Who am I? I stand up straight, a still blade in silence. A footstep imprints itself on me. I speed through a forest, parting branches with my wake, carrying precious cargo. I shoot through the air until I'm impacted, collapsed, cold lead. I've been worn down, old leathery skin, frayed laces touch blood. I weep across the forest, my limbs hang limp, the wind rustles me. I reek of rot as bugs fill my hollowness, my center carved out. I'm red, crispy, meaty, divided into cubes, then triangles. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Aline de Souza, and my poem is on the page 17, caused by the consequence. The men battle me with tears in their eyes. On balmy days and bright nights, the aridity is my ally. The wind works as my fuel. I help shape their destiny. Part of the cause, also the consequence. I benefit the future. I also bring disdain. I destroy the present. I will never end. I sway to the beat of destruction, leaving ruin in my wake, the lives I devastate, the homes I obliterate. Beginning of a new day, the rebirth. Eucalyptus, callisimon, oak, and pine. The earth warms up, the sea level rise. That's my friend in action again. You can't take it no more. Shall we pair up? You control me with careful design, and the land will be restored with a new desire. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Robin, and I have two short poems, one on page 9 and one on page 10. This is called Something. I have fallen for miniature clothespins, silly and delicate, they can't hold much, but what they dream of holding. And we are seated, our hands opening and closing around our words and tasty mouthfuls, questioning our intrinsic judgments, palpable vulnerabilities, burgeoning self-doubts. Is there even room to hold self-worth with our small grip? Ragged peels from an orange drop their fragrant rinds onto my lap. I pick one up with my miniature clothespin, bringing it to my face, inhaling its sumptuous scent. Something to love without question, something that loves me without fear. Something. This is titled Aleatory on page 10. It started to rain here the day the light left his eyes there. There in the sunny country, he claimed, with the sounds of animated streets, barking dogs, impromptu firework pops, and the sounds his guitars made. Lined up against the wall, his trophies, his children, his raison d'etre spoke in his defense and communion. His hands, blades of pale blonde grass, lithe and willow, stroked the strings, pulled out the harmonies, delivering intricate chord inversions to our awaiting ears. We could build an arc from the stacks and stacks of binders he's left behind, reporting the notes and measures and rhythms written in his perfect script. The sun started to shine here the day the clouds claimed the sky there in his empty studio. Here in this sometimes rainy country, I lean into the wind that calls him.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex, and I'm on page 4. Seasons. Cool spring rains fall over the verdant countryside and the hedgerows, teeming with bluebells, daffodils, and meadows and wooded groves. There arose fat, brown, penny bun mushrooms, the trilling warble of skylark, and warm, lovely summer evenings filled with tiny fires. Autumn turns a leaf at a time, away from the warm June-berry dream, setting the forests ablaze in rains. Tears of the winds to the steam, coming white winter snowdrifts, in a fractal blue world of ice bitter, a frozen heart will crack and thaw under pale sun. Canada Goose, page 18. Children play baseball, and the long black-necked geese can't help but gaze and graze on the lawn under the muted sun. 100 of the flock lays and knees, small gentle breeze, ripples the starred and barred flag. Someone hits a home run. Unfazed, brazenly, lazily, lackadaisically, they dream of the ever-living boreal, old growth white and hoarfrost prime. Fractal pale blues and buried ashen earth will bloom green within the verdant heart. And my last one is on Celtic Twilight, home about fairies. When the soft slant fires kiss the umbral realm of stars, in shadowed grove of the thousand-armed dare, at the twisted heart of ancient tangled root, across the plum gold meadow of alabaster east lily and primrose, deep in the far forest of the crimson berry bush. From the gnarled black bark, white petaled tresses of spring, through the voices of old, the children of the land, veiled behind the eternal mist of the great dream dwells still.
I'm Brett, and mine is on page 20. What does freedom mean? There were once people who hath lacked the freedom of I, yet here I stand with my dreams, because they made the decision to fight. The hand presses, though I cannot scream, and the weight crushes, though I cannot flee. And the sudden thought flashes through my head, what will become of me? What does freedom mean? Is it beyond belief? Is this my life? Die for liberty? Drug us up, slice our brains, take our choices, reverse our past. Our DNA is to strive. Our generations will never go back. You suffocate us just to get off, and you only see us for what we're not. Are you so scared of a fight that's fair? Give it your best shot. What does freedom mean? The lie of our country,
If some are free, then why should we not be? I'm passing the torch to you, dear. I'm passing the torch to you, and don't you ever forget it. You will achieve the greatest thing. I see it upon my deathbed. Was that the love? Was that romance? I should not live for you. You should not live for me.
I'm Dylan, and my poem is on page 6. Poem's called Nightfall. Au détour d'un sentier, une chaconne une femme. When the smoke-clogged dust shall settle down upon the roofs and walls in night, ich bin der Geist der Stadtverniet. I'll hasten quickly near light, wherein the bars have closed their doors. In fluorescent corner stores, pousser en clair de lune, lo giorno se nadava, il aire bruno, romance's fragment crumbles soon. 1,000 feelings lost to see, never more to know. And where the sun once rose on your tender face, the gold obscured by acrid clouds which hang above, e le tenebre eterne in caldo e gelo, the dusk fire's kiss seals to burn away our love. And though idle chatter in galleries of Rimbaud, of time, of salaries, was never meant for us, but more, comme après un cadavre, un show de vermisseau, romance, a tarnished cadaver cast upon the floor, one shimmering, repugnant sight which pains me so. When the verdant fields are dry and dead, triste comme une maison démeublée, find our love the accursed Orphic head, severed, dirty, the nymphs had seen it lost and cast away, when the side street grime and acrid smoke caused the bandaged throat to choke, the harsh alleyway, fluorescent lights shall not redeem us. Maenad, my fallible God, you serve another. Tarde te credita le don credimus. Near piles of rotten memories where blowflies flit and hover. No longer at my side, along this torrid hellish plain, wound me not with thine eye, but with thy tongue. Si volge and entro a far crescer la ambascia, abortive death upon the night which never could grow young. In dive bars here, the acrid cloud, the demon screeches ceaseless loud. Jason with no command of any valiant fleets. My heart a dove, but crushed by the great Symplegades. At last a quest for one golden, tattered, moth-eaten fleece. I lurk behind the twilight bricks to vanish lost with ease. Sic ego, sic ne tesum viver possum. Your lack of presence, a poisoned well with thirst. No muse to court me now, empty library filled with dust. When that rough beast slouches near, I hope I may go first. Your voice, once the Paradisian bird, a chicken scratch, may now be heard. 6 fragments, offensive notes upon the harp, to try to raise you up, Eurydice, to resurrect our love, to conceal the bones, black and rotting neath the tarp, all the while sing horrid cries, archonic beasts above. The whirling yuga has swept you far from here, in samsaric fields I forge for your fallen flesh. Sur la toile oubliée, et que l'artiste achève, is painted there a portraiture of bones and spider mesh. The sun is lost upon the black, the world it withers, fading back, farewell, thou art too dear for my possessing. I shall relinquish you in the fire's dark, consuming light. I cry out to you, a whisper to God, a blessing, as our love fades with the world to everlasting night.
My name is Belle Marco, and my poem is on page 30. Blaze. I wasn't home, but I got the call. Gone were all my treasures, up in orange and glowing sparks to mingle with the night. That smoky smell so hard to shake, that fat and tangled canvas hose. that trampled ground all wet and gray, that fluttering ragged curtain singed, draped damply, tipped on crispy chair. These visions seared my spirit, my heart stuck to my ribs. I floated through the months that night, not sure how I'd get by. Time has bleached the memories, now just a story to me, a lesson learned. Wherever I go, I make a home. Nothing can take that away.
Hi, my name is Kinderlyn. My poem is on page 17. My poem is called Darling Darkness, Lovely Light. Lovely light that shines so bright, filling the world with strength and life. Life that grows to reach the light. The lovely light, you shine too bright. Your light creates darkness we know too well. Darling darkness that speaks in the night, that has a face that bites. Darling darkness that takes all the air and light. That breaks down your might, so you're begging for a fight in hopes of light. Anything but the pain and the shadows you fall asleep feeling. Darling darkness that hears your sleepless cries, didn't cause your suffering. Lovely light that shined too bright till it burned and killed all the life. The problem isn't darling darkness. In the darkest shadows we are safe. Lovely life, light that can kill life, the darling darkness.
Hello, I'm Justina, and my poems are on page 7. Verdant Valley. An afternoon stroll through the verdant valley, everything alive and at its peak. Acacias sing in full glory, lemony, fuzzy fingers reaching out for me. Cherry trees burst with delicate blossoms, dripping in shades of pulsating pink. The crisp, cool air carries ephemeral aromas, sweet delicacies of secret origin. The bounty of the blossoms tells me it is spring, yet the crimson Christmas berries remind me it is winter still. I know your secret, also on page 7. Standing firm in quiet reflection, you look the same as the day before, but I know your secret. I saw you with your lover. I saw you in wild surrender. Your dance was uninhibited, every part of you electrically alive, your bodies together rejoicing in primordial howls, rough layers stripped off, revealing your smooth skin, shaken to your core, releasing your intoxicating fragrance. I know your secret. You are not the same tree that I saw the day before. You've been taken by the wind.
The rules and ask it. Magical. Bioluminescence. Sorry, I should use this, shouldn't I? Bioluminescence. Yeah. Tamales Bay. It happens. How often? My friends know, but I don't. I have a poem about bioluminescence on page 12. My name is Trina Miller. This is called Phosphorescent Play. They dimmed the lights and drew the curtains on Tamales Bay for us, a small audience, transformed at first launch by the drama of night, stillness, of red kayak taillights fishtailing atop the water. The actors cued, they sprang to action. Dinoflagellates with secret cries of white-blue light each time they touched a paddle, a bow, a hand extended to trouble the water. Even the stars disappeared as fog descended suddenly for the bioluminescent climax. Amid eerie disorientation, the nearly neon algae fills the stage to quietly resounding applause. Back on the shore, the bay fades to flat and dark, despite our reluctance to leave it. But now we know it patiently awaits its next performance. The next poem is called Up Here and is in honor of my friend Karina. Up here, I am awake to the planet. It calls to me, and the sound of the native grasses, dried and chafing to make themselves heard. In the thrum of jets hurling themselves through the air from SFO. In the twitchy bunches of eucalypti, and the twittery birds balancing on their branches. In the wind that cruises past my ears. Whirling language I strain to understand. Is it not strange that in order for me to hear the world better, you had to leave it? Thank you.
Can you hear me? I have 3 poems in here, but I think I'm only going to read you 2. This one is called Nice to Think So, and it's on page 39. Next to some cool art. On the other side of the universe, we're dancing stars in someone else's sky. Our exhaust eventually paints pictures around what they see with their naked eye. I don't know if that scientifically makes sense, but let's pretend. All driving happens in underground tunnels, flora and fauna flourishing. Dogs rule over everything, though is that really so different? No one is left wanting or outside in the cold. All the politicians' hearts are made of gold. And then my second is on page 43, called Tonic for Melancholy. Also next to some cool art. Go-getters, they always say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. A stupid notion. I'll sleep while I'm alive, while the wind is rushing by and the trees lose all their leaves, while I walk within a dream world, where sometimes it isn't even cold, and loved ones never grow old. My footsteps, light and peaceful, roses blooming out my fingers. An earthquake couldn't shake me. My nose is pink from sunshine, not turned to frost by winter's gusts. No, I'd rather sleep while I'm alive and waltz through a dreamscape.
All right, then, how many of you have studied some American literature of the early 20th century and have come upon that little poem, The Red Wheelbarrow? Almost everybody. And then you go, okay, what was that little poem about? So I did my own version of it on page 16. No, yeah, page 16. Rear view mirror. So much depends upon seeing in the rear view mirror the golden head of my dog sticking out the window. I just phoned my wife during lunch break and she said that the dog, he's still a puppy, has stolen my son's jacket and torn a hole in it. And so nice reading the poem about like happy things, you know. So when you look back and you think, oh dang, when I was 18 and I had whole life ahead of me, you never think about it, you know. So on page 14, I'm at the Matterhorn. I was bumming around with my buddy in Europe. That summer, it's called Zermatt, which is the town below the Matterhorn. That summer, we climbed the steep slopes beneath the Matterhorn, singing. We thought of nothing but the glacial, slick rock above, the cowbells sounding in the valley, that silvery, rocky stream down the mountain. At 18, the world lay before us, and we didn't think of it at all. Thank you. On page 32, there's one kind of about the spring, but really about something else. It's called Up the Steps. Spring comes to the boughs without asking, waiting, the sap still not awake. All morning the sunlight teases it. The night still cold, Orion and his dog wander through the blue-black. The flooded yard beneath the tree seeps back into the ground, and the owls call to each other in the ringing silence of the infinite night. It is the time of returning, one by one the birds, one by one the buds. The scent of the first tremulous petal taking me back to when I'd walk up the steps in the spring evening and find you all here. The last one I read is just a few haiku that I put together entitled Little Waves on page 30. The old stone I use as a pillow, once lava, flowing to the sea. Hiking in the woods, how different the path seems on the return trip. Hard green pears of June, how will I remember them when they are golden?
My name is Colleen. I have the two pieces of the telephone pole, lizard. And I just want to say, because I have no poem to read, that I'm bookending my life with art, because when I was growing up, I took an arts and crafts class, and it was the most awesome class there ever was. But my education was funded by my parents, who said, look, yeah, you made all this stuff and it looks all right, but nobody makes a living out of art. So you better go to school and goes to the grindstone and all those good things. And all I ever did in college, years, the 7 years that I went, did a lot of drinking and had relationships, but hardly any studying. I didn't have any motivation because biology and calculus is over my head, really. But they were things that I wanted to do for my parents, but I didn't achieve them. So they said, okay, you have to cut the funding. We don't know what you're doing in school. So I got a job doing, menial work, which is what you do at the beginning. But then I did years of menial work, nothing that I loved or anything like that. And then got into a relationship for 20 years. And then that kind of sucked. It drained my very soul. And I wasn't doing the things where I could find my super happy place. And then I came to College of Marin, and this is my happy place. And I hope that the future parents, aunts and uncles, and even get grandparents, help the ones that have this spark. Encourage them to go forward and find their happy place. Thank you.
Very short. And I don't totally suck. It's began to mist again in the caramel colored skies. Soon the mist will turn to rain. See the new sunrise. Walking up and down the beach, feel the sand between my toes. Salty spray is in the breeze, in my face and eyes. As I walked into the sea, and I feel it swallow me. And I know that it is good to be alive. As I look into the sun, and I see the haze has gone, and I know that it is good to be alive.
On page 24, you have something by Charles. I thought I saw him here earlier. Charles Boner. And it's about an airplane called Bygone Wings F-104 Starfighter. Here I sit, surrounded by shadow and damp darkness. Rough brown rust emanating a slight scent covers my once silver wings. My dreams of white misty clouds and sun-touched sky haunt my metallic grave. In an era now forgotten, I ruled those sunny days with my once mighty wings. Light breaks through my clouded thoughts as a rusted hangar door squeaks open. My old shell glimmers once more with sunlight, the rust shaken from my age-battered body. Feeling rubber rolling on the sun-warmed asphalt reignites a long, wasted passion. After my long, melancholic slumber, I rush from the ground with a roar once again. And the other one for Charles is Morning. Has anyone ever like woken up and then thought, do I really have to get up yet? You know? Warm and bright, something pulls at me, rolling, unwilling, I turn away and hide myself. It's only a beam of light. Still reluctant, I turn back toward the warmth, resentful of its coming. My eyes crack open. It's simply morning. Come for me again, just an hour too soon.
Now the moment you've all been waiting.
So, all right, for the prizes. This was a bit stressful. So we had a little Zoom meeting where we tossed our opinions back and forth and eventually came up with this. So the third place goes to the Bike on Wings airplane poem I just read, I'm sorry. Wish I had written it. And I think one thing that's really special about it is the use of persona. As you heard, the airplane is speaking the poem, and the airplane goes through its sorrow, its melancholic slumber, and then wakes up at the end. And I thought that was kind of exciting to have that. The language is so fresh as if it's from that experience of the airplane itself. So Charles Bonner gets a third place. Oh, here it is, Charles.
So if we direct your, I keep forgetting there's a mic. If we can direct your attention again to page 4. We love this poem for its structure and form, for the word choices, original and vivid, and the way it made us see something new. Alex, congratulations. 1 second. This is for the poem season. Thank you.
Our first place winner. We had trouble deciding between her 2 poems because we love them both so much. Thankfully, she was here to read them for us on page 9 and page 10, but particularly on page 10, we loved the poem Aleatory by Robin Rogers. Congratulations.
Okay, I am Kevin Muller. I'm the chair art history and I am the chair of the fine arts department, and I'm asked here to represent the visual artists. I want to thank, first of all, advisors for this wonderful publication, as well as especially the students, Rebecca, Alexander, Arthur. Hard work really shows through in material publication. So we were asked, the faculty, some select faculty were asked to review the works that are included in the publication. I want to say that it's really wonderful to have both and contemporary arts together. I think that as we go forward in our careers, to keep in mind the artificial divisions that are up structures are not necessarily the ones. So if you feel like you want to cross fertilize across things, I strongly encourage you to do that because it gives some of the most ultimate. So let me start with 3. So these are kind of hard to come up with an order. So I think they're all excellent, and there were many discussions about which ones to choose. So the first, for the third place, I would turn your attention to page 16. There you will find a wonderful drawing by Adam Beeler-Lammers of Hugo. We like this drawing because we thought it was really a wonderful exploration of shadow and light and application of pencil. And of course, it's somewhat universal in its animalness. So I don't know if Adam's here. I think he was here briefly. So anyhow, put up for Adam. Okay, so for our second place, I'd have you turn your attention to page 20. Okay, and I'd have you take a look at Anti-Domestic by Martin Rodriguez. Really like this. The painting is actually on view in the Com Art Gallery. If you're actually, although it looks wonderful here in reproduction. Also, I want to reference just again, you can see the kind of hybridization. And then also just the expressiveness of this work in terms of application at both here and seen. Okay, and then for, like I said, there were lots of good ones as I turned through here. I'm like, oh, but I like that one. I can tell you I wasn't really involved in the judging because I would buy one of everything. So turn your attention to page 31 and take a look at Rock Face by Annie Bates Winship. Oh, I don't think I've ever met Annie, so very nice. All right, so we really like this. We really, again, like the just the wonderful connection here, culture and nature, and the way that they blended so well. That was really fun. Yeah, no, it's beautiful. All right, thank you. Congratulations. So again, I want to thank you all for the opportunity to include the visual artists, but I also want to applaud everyone here who stood up to read. I look back at my old 18-year-old self and I would have never done that. So I applaud all of you for doing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That wraps it up. We had a great time and thank you all for being here. This was really special. Come back next year. Thank you all.